One random Tuesday recently last week, I was drinking my coffee, looking at my mantle, wondering what was underneath that builder's grade white piece of wood. And then, for no other reason other than I wanted a change, I decided to rip it off and see. I removed everything off of that white mantle and got to work. I needed something called a multi-tool. It's a small little spatula with a very sharp edge that I could hammer in and under to remove the mantle from the brick. I actually got to the point where I wondered if it was ever going to come off, but then, once it came off, I realized that it was just attached with some contractor cement at the top of these bricks. The plan for this mantle will be to remove the framework around the outside edge with the decorative trim and add new barnwood to the box and re-adhere it to the wall. So once again, using my hammer and that multi-tool, I was able to remove the decorative trim from the box and then begin to build and hammer my new barnwood frame around it. I had purchased this wood already planed and treated for insects off of Facebook Marketplace. It actually came from a restaurant's wall. I cut it to size to fit the proper mantle and then used my nail gun to adhere it to the box. It's super beautiful and just how I wanted it, but it is also super heavy. Before I put that mantle back up onto the wall, I need to paint the brick. I was waffling between black and white. That's where this little fun picture came into play. This was my idea to see if black would look good. I did plan ahead by adding these extra long screws through the side shelving that will actually hold my mantle into place along with a cement adhesive. And then I finally decided on my color. This is Terra Clay paint. I decided to go super black, super matte, and this will happen when I use my Terra Clay paint in Onyx. This is a water-based clay paint and it goes on very thick. I like to use my best dang brush to apply it and really mash it into the crevices on the brick. For this project, it only took one coat of paint to cover the existing gray paint on the wall. I was pleasantly surprised at how well it covered the paint. I really didn't have to work that hard to cover this whole entire area. For the shelving on the sides of the mantle, I decided to update the dark gray color. I'm going to use Dixie Belle's newest roller. It's a foam roller and it really applies the paint smoothly. And since I don't want to prime, I'm going to be using my silk paint. Silk paint has a built-in primer and a built-in top coat. It goes on super smooth and is actually mildew resistant as well. I ended up doing 2 even coats of Oyster silk paint on the backings of the shelves that flank the fireplace. And I ended up using some oil-based paint in white to cover the actual framework and shelving since it was already painted in an oil-based product. And while this was drying, I had my husband help me secure that mantle with the extra long screws as well as that contact cement adhesive, and this is where we are at. Adhering the mantle, making sure it's safe and supported before you put your beautiful items back on top. I ended up grabbing a new mirror from Hobby Lobby, one that would fit my space since this mantle is larger than the previous mantle. My other mirror no longer fit. Other than that mirror, pretty much everything else on my shelves is a thrifted item. I am a big thrifter. I love to go to the Goodwill and find treasures. So what do you think of my brand new mantle? I mean, it's new to me, but it's technically old barnwood. I really love the way that this turned out. It is exactly what I was envisioning in my mind, and it's given me total fall vibes. So the next time you're drinking coffee and wondering what's underneath your builder grade mantle, know that you can probably take it off just like I did with a hammer and a small multi-tool. And then yeah, you might need a little help putting that sucker back up, but once it's done, it looks fabulous. Thanks for joining me on my DIY journey.